All right, so one thing I want to go over today is taking calls from ads that we have placed or signs that we have out for rent signs, and want to talk about how we want to pre-qualify all of our potential tenants. One thing I would make sure to ask them which ad that they're calling off of, which website. A couple of reasons for this. First of all, we want to make sure that we are referencing the right ad at the right rental rate with the right owner. And also, I want you guys to make sure that you ask which website, so that way we can use it for tracking purposes about how successful each website is as far as advertising and the lead quality off that website. Next thing I would ask is, obviously once we figure out which potential listing that they're calling off of, I would ask them if they are familiar with Jacksonville, if they're going to be new to the area, the reason for their move. We do get a lot of people that are moving in from out of town, and they may not know exactly where this property is located at. If they are moving for their job, you want to make sure that they're going to be accessible to their job, or if they need to be in a certain school district, things like that you want to be very aware of, so we make sure that we're putting them in a condo or private rental that's going to meet their needs. The next question I would ask is how soon they're looking to move in. This is one thing that does vary with a lot of people that are calling in. If they're looking to move, 6 months down the line, you may want to suggest that you get back in touch with them, because our listings do vary on a day-to-day basis. So what we have available today may not be available for their time frame, but we will have more listings coming up at that time. I would double check to make sure how many bedrooms and bathrooms that they're needing. Obviously they're calling off of an ad, but you want to make sure, they may have kids or relatives that are staying with them. You want to make sure that there's going to be enough room for each person in that space, and that space is going to work for them as well. A few other important questions you'd want to ask, if they have a certain floor preference. This is actually important to a lot of people, that they be either on the first floor, and if they don't want to climb steps or they have a physical handicap that may prevent them from doing that. Some people just have a preference on being on the top floor or the first floor. So that is something that's very important to a lot of people. So you want to make sure that you ask that question before you take them out, and then find that out later. I would also ask if there's any specific features that they're looking for. This will help you narrow down if there's any other condos or rentals in the area that may be a good fit for them. This way you can give them a selection of rentals to choose from. But if you have, you want to ask them as far as what their preference is on a wash and dryer. Are they bringing one with them? If the condo or rental comes with one included, are they willing to store it or sell it? Because that is an important thing for a lot of people, so you want to make sure that you accommodate their needs. Other questions to ask: are there any amenities that they're looking for? Whether it be a pool, a fitness center, a gated community. Some people like to have alarm systems in their property for their own security. So you want to make sure you ask those questions. That way you can help them find a rental that's going to fit all of their needs again. Next question. You do want to find out if they have rented before, if they have good rental history. You want to make sure that that is in good standing. You'd want to ask them how their past credit history is. Make sure you ask to make sure there's no foreclosures. Ask them if there's any unpaid utilities, any unpaid rent that's on their credit report. There are places and owners that we can call that may be willing to work with them, but you do want to ask those questions ahead of time, just so you know and can pre-qualify each lead that's coming in. I would also ask them how long they've been at their current job. We do verify that on the rental application, so we want to make sure that we have a little bit of that knowledge ahead of time. You may also want to ask them about if they're needing rental furniture or not, or if they're needing a rental that is already furnished. Since we do have a lot of people moving out of the area or just here for a short-term basis, they may not want to move all of their household furniture ahead of time, and just want to have a place that's furnished or rent furniture themselves. We have all that information we can provide for them, so it's very easy to fix, and they can do that all through you. Once you find out more about what type of place they're looking for, I would then ask them what kind of rental rates are staying within. Like I said, we do have a lot of listings, so if we have anything else that may be a better fit for them and in their price range, that would be great, because now you can offer them more options. But it's better to ask that towards the end, because once you have a better idea of what they're looking for, if there's any features, you being the educated agent will have a good idea of what rental range that will put them in and can advise them as well. You also want to ask if they have any pets. This is very important, because a lot of the private listings, some owners are more than willing to have pets, Others are a little bit more picky about not having pets. But you want to find out their breed, because we have to make sure that they do fit within the housing guidelines of the communities, and also their weight. If you have an owner that initially said they do not want to have any pets in their units, I would still call them first and ask them before moving on to the next listing, because sometimes people are flexible, especially if it hasn't rented right away. They're willing, to be open to that option. You can also offer to the owner that we will charge them a pet fee, which is non-refundable, and that would be in addition to the security deposit if we need to cover any other damages or just do an extra carpet clean, anything like that, that goes straight to the owner. If they're willing to do a pet deposit, which is refundable, it's no problem at all. I would offer them that option so they have more peace of mind. Then I would suggest, once you have a little bit more information, ask when the clients are available to go look at the properties. Is it better for them during the day, during the week, the evenings or weekends? That way you can set up an appointment to take a look at them. You definitely want to get the best contact phone number for your client and their email address, so you can email them the listings that we have, send them some pictures so they can see a little bit more about the property before you actually go and meet them. And lastly, always make sure you want to ask them if they have any other questions for you, if there's any other things that are important to them that they're looking for that you want to make sure you're aware of before you take them out. At that point, what you want to do is set up an appointment. I'd like you guys to have all of the clients come to our office first. That way we can make sure we get a copy of their ID, verify their information, and then head on out to the properties. And that will be it. And then next.